Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Three Quarter Guard Podcast. Sorry about last week. We were really hungover and drunk from the night before, so we didn't show up.
Yes, this is true. It was our host, Shane's 31st? 31st birthday.
I'm an
last
old
Friday.
ancient man.
Yes. As
old
well
fart.
as our homegirl, Jess. I don't know Jessica's last name. Or I do, but I forgot it. Well, shout out to Jess. It was also her birthday on October 19th, and we went out and did some karaokeing and some... what did we do before the karaoke? I don't remember.
I ate alligator tail meat.
Oh, yeah, you did. Oh, yeah, we went to that place, Sugar or whatever the hell it was. But, yeah, it was a good time, obviously. We both woke up pretty late. I was going to post up our conversation at noon when we both woke up and realized we were late, but decided not to, so whatever. But here we are now, and,
I can't quite process alcohol the way I used to.
Yeah, well, we're getting older.
And a friend of ours, Urian, was really avid fan of sangria.
Yeah, he gave us, like, a couple of pictures. I don't know why he did that. My wife vomited. Luckily, not on anyone's property, and only on, like, outside the bare concrete floor.
On the
So
public property, man?
Shout out
It's everyone's property.
Shout out
Makes
to
it
my
worse.
wife for keeping herself clean and myself clean while she handled that. Thanks, babe. But yeah, a good weekend. Once again, a happy belated birthday to our co-host, Shane, 31 years old, the big 3-1. And that's enough of that. Nice guy bullshit. Let's get into some MMA talking.
Yeah.
UFC Monk Talk was last night.
Moncton.
Moncton. Is it T?
Yeah.
Is it
T-O-N.
It sounds like a T-A-U-N.
No, Moncton.
Sure?
Like Moncton.
Are you sure? 'Cause sometimes O's sound like that. And they're Canadian, so maybe they just pronounce it a different way.
M-O-N-C-T-O-N. So
Moncton?
Moncton.
Doesn't
Moncton,
sound
New
weird.
Brunswick, Canada.
Moncton, it just does. It sounds like part of the name. It doesn't sound like a complete name.
Moncton. Yeah.
Like Moncton.
Moncton.
Sounds like it needs more.
I don't know. They're French.
Well, Moncton. UFC Moncton last night. The first time UFC was in Moncton, New Brunswick. Some pretty good fights. Some really good fights in the early prelims. Actually, let me get out my phone because I can't remember anybody's name.
There was a couple of good performances, good finishes.
No, there was. There was a really impressive head kick knockout during the Fight Pass prelims. I just need to find the gentleman's name.
Oh, yeah. You know what? It's the same thing. It doesn't pop up for me on mobile.
Yeah, right? I don't know why it does that now. We were trying to find like this.
Stupid.
Well, I don't know if you're aware, but Google, when you Google a UFC card, usually it like pops up right there on Google, on the Google search. It doesn't do that anymore. It's not going on phones now.
Moncton. Wait,
Yeah, see,
it
there
didn't
you
come
go.
up here either.
See, I don't understand.
That makes sense.
What's happening all of a sudden?
I don't know.
Maybe it's only for future events? Oh, there it is.
Well, yeah.
Oh, if you Google UFC, it comes up.
It's like if it's too specific, it doesn't.
Seems to be that way.
Doesn't pop up.
Guess you can't be that specific with it, which is really funny, I think.
Yeah, it's kind of. Actually, this doesn't even show. This only shows the main card. Oh no, here we go. Oops,
Yeah,
I didn't know
prelim
that.
card right
Prelim.
there. Yeah. Talking about the early prelims, though. The early prelims.
This guy.
Tay Edwards.
Calvin
Yes.
Qatar, I thought. Is he the
No.
That wasn't the head kick?
Well, no, he actually Calvin Qatar got a TKO finish over. What was the name of the guy? Go back to that screen, please.
Chris Fishgold.
Yeah,
That was the guy. The
Fishgold.
baldish guy. I think he had bloodied his face all.
Chris Fishgold. He was like this really good
TK,
prospect from King of the Cage over up in Europe. That promotion that McGregor was from.
You're right.
They had some hype behind him, and he was really going in, and he was in a 2-1 heavy favorite. But yeah, man, he got TKO'd by
Chris Qatar.
Yeah, Calvin Qatar. Chris Fishgold got beat by Calvin Qatar by TKO in the first round. I saw that. It's really good. Chris Fishgold did have him in trouble at first. He does have some power in his hands, and he was going in, but Calvin Qatar weathered the storm, got a TKO finish, and not bad. A bad night for Chris Fishgold in his debut, but Calvin Qatar with the TKO. Not a bad thing. And also in those prelims was Sean Strickland got a TKO victory in the second round over Nordin Talib, who are they're some seasoned UFC fighters.
Yeah, he's been around for.
They were on the feature bout of the prelims. Those are some good fights. But there was the early head kick knockout I was talking about was Tay Edwards against Dan Madge. They were going back and forth in the striking exchange.
The one where he head kicked him twice.
In the second round, he came in. It was like the beginning of the second round. He like set up a pretty good head kick, and then Don Mage or Mage? I'll say Mage. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, but Don Mage comes in the second round with a head kick, wobbled him, and while he was backing up, went for a right head kick, and then it was good night, Irene, as a certain King of the Cage commentator always says. But it was really impressive, really great debut for him as well. I believe it was his first fight. Shout out to Tay Edwards for his. Shout out to Don Madge for his win. Yeah, I kept mixing up the names actually. Tay Edwards was knocked out by Don Madge.
Don Madge.
Don Madge knocked out Tay Edwards. I was fucking that up for a bit, but yeah.
That was Stevie Ray fought. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Stevie Ray fought. It was an alright fight. It was a very good decision fight.
I'm surprised he was buried in the early prelims.
Yeah, I mean, well, now you can see why. I guess it was not. It wasn't the most exciting fight. It was still pretty good. Not the most exciting fight I've seen though. But an okay night of fights over at the main card.
That Hakparast guy was pretty good.
What was that?
Hakparast, Nasrat Hakparast.
Who's that?
He's 23-year-old. I think he's German, but his family's from Qatar. He's really good. He's pretty good.
Who's that? Who do you go against?
He was fighting on the prelims against Thibault Gouti.
Okay. Okay. That's I can't even pronounce the guy's name, but yeah, he's been winning a lot of fights today, hasn't he?
Was landing a lot of good shots, keeping the pressure on. Young guy.
Word.
A lot of promise there.
Yeah.
Sean Strickland obviously showed up.
Yeah. The main card.
Court McGee had a put on a wrestling clinic.
Per usual, Court McGee does his thing in the grappling. Yeah, shout out to Court McGee for the
pretty
win.
Good on his feet too.
John Vellante also got a decision win over Ed Herman in the light
heavyweight
division.
That was a weird one. Yeah. It could have really gone either way. Ed Herman was really upset that he lost that one.
John Vellante was talking about doing a move to heavyweight. I'm like, hey man, if you want to do that, I mean, he has.
It almost makes sense because
he has the chin for light heavyweight. I don't know if he has the chin for heavyweight though. I don't know how much. I mean, if he does do that, he might need to start relying a lot. I mean, I know not to say he relies a lot on his punching power right now, but that's definitely a highlight of his skill set.
That's his only move. He's I like John Vellante, but he's really just got one. He's just got that overhand right.
I mean,
he loads up on the right hand. That's kind of all he's got.
It took Mark Hunt.
That's all he does.
In the heavyweight division, that can take you pretty far. Look at Francis Ngannou. He had those heavy hands and brought him to a title shot. In the heavyweight division, there's certain if you got heavy hands, that's a big fucking deal. So, I mean, I think he can get to a certain point in the heavyweight division, but I think he needs to switch up his defense game and not take so many hits because it's not 205ers punching him anymore. It's going to be 230, 240, sometimes even 265 pounders punching you in the face, and that hurts a lot more. Hurts a lot more. But yeah, shout out to John Vellante.
Misha Serkinov got a nice submission on Patrick.
Sukentov.
Patrick, saloon bartender Cummins. I don't know.
Patrick
He's
Cummings.
He's holding on to that mustache.
Patrick Cummings, yeah. I mean, he likes to look like a weird pervert. Let him do his thing. A weird, toothless pervert. Let him do his thing. But yeah, Patrick Cummings isn't. No, real quick on that. Patrick Cummings isn't. It was. He's a real gritty guy. He's real tough. He's real gritty. He likes to go in there and make it a very grueling wrestling based fight. But yeah, Misha Serkinov. Thank you. Misha Serkinov came in, got a was it a head triangle? No, not a head triangle.
Arm triangle.
Arm triangle on him, and which was crazy because like I said, Patrick Cummins is really good on the ground, and Serkinov was essentially took total control on the ground, got him in a submission win. It was a pretty
Yeah, this is a nice.
See, look right there. Patrick Cummings usually.
I've seen Cummins do
that before. Yeah, I've seen Cummings do that before, and his power allows him to do that. He can literally take somebody from the bottom when he's on the bottom position, flip someone over.
That was a nice little, it looked like Serkinov was trying to toss him. He kind of spun and then landed in.
I was very surprised to see him sneak in that choke and get in that positioning so quickly on Patrick Cummings. Yeah, as soon as he did that, I was like, holy shit, his jiu-jitsu and his submissions are top level at this point. And right now he's tied at second place for most submissions in the light heavyweight division. I think he's at number 4. He's only one behind from John Jones. John Jones is like 5, which is the most submissions in light heavyweight division in history. Yeah, we'll see how he does with that. But shouts out to Serkinov. Excuse me, on that big win for him last night. It's definitely gonna put him up in the
Mikhail Misha. He's got 2 TKO and TKO losses back to back. He needed that fight, yeah.
Yeah, he needed
Ozdemir and Glover. That's
yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens now, though. That was a pretty good win on his part. I doubt that.
He's number 11.
Oh, he's number 11.
Yeah.
Well,
I think
top 15.
Yeah, because Cubbins was like 10 or something.
Yeah. Top 5. Maybe he'll be back maybe he's gonna go back up in the top 10 or
Anthony
something like that.
Smith was 10, so Cummins was 13.
Maybe he'll go a little higher in the.
Damn, back-to-back losses for Cummins.
Yeah. I mean, his win-loss. His
win-loss
record. Yeah, his win-loss record is always like that. I mean, he's one of those kinds of guys, but he's always in there and he's always ready for a fight. That's what Dana White and everybody else loves about him. So hats off to Patrick Cummings, doing his thing last night. But Serkinov definitely was the better submission artist.
Yeah, you got the Menace, Michael Johnson, short notice fight against Artem Lobov.
Yeah,
for the short notice fight that he did get really close to making weight. He was only off by a pound, which really sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
They wouldn't let him weigh in again.
Yeah, we were shitting on him a little bit on our social media page. If you don't follow us on Instagram at 3/4 guard.
I mean, he tried, man. He tried. What did he have? A week? 2 weeks?
He had 2 weeks. He had 2 weeks, and I mean, but he's still like a long guy for the division. I think,
like 170.
Yeah, that's a lot to lose in 2 weeks, and I'm surprised he was able to go to 5 rounds because that was the thing. Lobov was he just kept pressing him for like 15 minutes.
Trying to throw those hammers.
Yeah, man, trying to throw those hammers. Some people get tired, man. Some people with that footwork, they keep moving around a lot. They get tired, and eventually they land one. That's Artem Lobov's game. But Michael Johnson kept the distance, kept landing the jabs, kept doing his thing, using his footwork and using his hand speed and all of his boxing prowess to win the 15 rounds. And yeah, he did what he had to do to get the decision win.
15 minutes.
15 minutes. Thank you. 3 rounds and
that's a long ass fight.
That's a long ass fight. It used to be 15 rounds, like back in the day in boxing. But then they realized how crazy it was.
Being the sweetheart that he is,
I heard about that.
Taking 20% of Michael Johnson's purse.
Yeah, and Lobov was like,
but he said, that's all good.
What's funny?
He just appreciated him coming in and taking the fight on short notice.
Lobov is I like to think he's like a mini Conor McGregor. He's like Conor McGregor's little brother. Like, he just kind of wants to be just like him, which is sweet. I think it's adorable. But I always forget that he's a really, he's a stand-up guy. He's a really respectable guy. Like, he's not, like, a jerk or anything like that. Not to say, Conor McGregor can be a jerk. But not to say that Conor McGregor doesn't respect his opponents. But, yeah, you don't really find too many people who say, hey, no, man, take back your money. You took a fight on 2 weeks' notice, like, da-da-da, this and that. So, yeah, class hack from Artem Lobov. Hats off to the GOAT for being...
Yeah, the GOAT, man.
For being... the stand-up fighter that he is. Champ. And yeah, Michael Johnson, Michael Johnson was talking in his post-fight interview that he wanted to fight before the end of the year. And
look at his arms.
Which arms?
Artem Lobov.
His short-ass stuffy arms. Where are his forearms?
I don't know. Maybe that's most of it. He's just got these no forearm.
It's all love, GOAT. We don't mean to shit on you this hard. But yeah, though, shouts out to Michael Johnson. He wants to fight again before the end of the new year. And it looks like that might actually happen. We were talking about this before, but we didn't realize it. For the next about 8 weeks, 7 weeks, it's just going to be straight fights. Fights every week from here up until December 15th. We're going to literally have weekly events for the UFC. So that's going to be pretty exciting. And yeah, looking forward to that. So much.
Yeah, and then the main event of the evening. Yeah,
let's look at the main event real quick before we.
Huh?
I was saying, but yeah, let's look at the main event real quick.
Yeah, I mean, Ozdemir was trying to put it on him for a bit there.
I mean, that's Volkan's game. Ozdemir does that. He has to put it on the person at first. He has to put use all of his strength, his heavy hands, and overwhelm the person.
Putting some good kicks in there.
That's his game, Anthony Smith had to weather the storm, of course.
Yeah.
It's always the hardest thing for a lot of fighters is weathering the storm from somebody who's been there before, who's been in the top spot. And well, he did it though. He let him get tired for the first 2 rounds, and then in the 3rd round, Anthony Smith got a big takedown.
Switched arms there.
Yeah, totally took him down in the top game. Put the top back.
Ozdemir was
took him a little bit though. Yeah,
bleeding like a fucking waterfall.
Stuck pig, yeah. But it took him a little bit to get into that.
He has a what do you call it? He's got a lot of experience though. Not in the UFC necessarily, but
40 fights. 40 fights in MMA, that's not bad. I mean, right now, especially right now at his age and at his point in his MMA career,
his prime right now.
Exactly, yeah. He's got all the veteran knowledge of an MMA fighter. He's been in the UFC a little bit to know like what he has to do. He fought Volkan Ozdemir really well. Fought him the way he was supposed to. Like I said, like conserving his energy in the first 10 minutes. He knew he had 5 rounds to work. He knew Volkan couldn't work for those 5 rounds. And he found this shot and took it when he did. As soon as he was he got the takedown, started working on that back and was able to get that rear naked choke within 2 minutes. And he got the win. Shout out to Anthony Smith on the big win last night at UFC Moncton. And capping off the first event they had in New Brunswick in quite some time. Or the first event in New Brunswick in general, right? I think.
I think so. That was a brand new what do you call it? Brand new stadium. Avenir Center.
Word.
Center Avenir, whatever you call it.
Word. But let's get into some. Well, actually, do we have any? What's the news this week? What's the big news this week?
The big one is the
big
fucking
fucking news
trade in MMA history between two organizations. One championship trades. Ben Askren for UFC's Demetrius Johnson.
Before we get into any of that, what do you think about the whole trade thing in general? Just the whole idea behind, like, let's say ONE FC or Bellator trading with UFC, or even
I don't see this happening between Bellator and UFC.
Well, I mean, Scott Coker and Dana White have a pretty good relationship. They have a really good relationship, and he gets along with him way better than Bjorn.
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like it's definitely competition. I mean, honestly, I feel like it all depends on Daddy Dana and how he feels about the situation. Yeah.
I think it made sense for ONE FC and Ben Askren because it looks like they're trying to kind of – it's not trying to. It's like, the flyweight division has had trouble. They're trouble keeping, the competition or keeping the division competitive.
Right.
And there's not a lot of hype around it. They don't feel like promoting it too much. They don't feel like people are excited enough about it. But if you look at ONE FC, they're lower. The lighter weight divisions are pretty big. So, over there in Asia, there's a lot more competition. There's a lot more,
People are smaller over there.
So, it kind of makes sense for DJ to go over there and, start his...
And he's been wanting to, funny enough. Like, he's mentioned it before in interviews.
He's got to make a lot more money, probably.
Yeah, they freaking throw money at fighters over there. It's insane. For over there, it's a little bit different. Like, over here, in the United States, I mean, it's always about competition. But over here, it's a lot about action. Wanting to see two fighters go at it and, like, duke it out, so to speak, a la Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonner, the Ultimate Fighter finale. Kind of way. But over there, let's say they appreciate the martial arts and they appreciate something like, let's say, a battle between, let's say, a Darren Till and Wonder Boy-esque type battle where you got two strikers going at each other and choosing their spots and stuff. That's like the greatest fight of all time in Asia. They stay silent, applaud, all that shit. And for somebody like Demetrius Johnson who has like such a big skill set, I mean, doing a flying armbar on somebody is probably going to be like, whoa, big fucking craziness over there.
I mean, let's see. Maybe there's even more competition over there.
Absolutely.
Maybe more for
him. It's crazy because like you never know it. The greatest fighter in the world could be like in some other organization or some like smaller amateur organization right now, and he just hasn't had that competition.
You mean like Ben Askren? Who may be the greatest welterweight of all time, but we've never seen him in the UFC.
This much is true, but when we get that shot now, don't we?
I don't think anyone thought that they'd ever see him in the UFC.
I didn't think I would see him. I was very upset about that. I mean, him and Dana. Well,
Dana's been very vocal about
the only reason that I did think maybe we could is because I was like, well, Tito was there, and Tito and Dana hated each other. But
I don't think they hated each other at the beginning, though.
Exactly, yeah. I don't think so either. That's why that was the big maybe for me.
I think they were friends before.
It's good to see that Dana's putting aside his emotions and he's like actually doing things that are great for business. That's good. I mean, I know we've been seeing that a lot lately.
Maybe he also has less control over that now.
What with the reinstalling of Yair Rodriguez and like not having Ariel Helwani banned from UFC events anymore and stuff like that. You could either say, that maybe Dana doesn't have as much power in the UFC as he used to, or maybe he's finally growing up. Maybe our little boy is finally growing up, and he's finally decided not to be so so sad about things. No offense to you. He's the genius, and definitely he's he is a pioneer in the expansion
All
of MMA
respect
throughout
to the
world.
Bald Father.
Absolutely, but stop being a baby about things.
But yeah, it's now it's kind of and it's so funny because as soon as this was announced, now it's kind of become like Ben Askren versus the world.
Yeah, man.
Ben Askren has literally called out everyone in the featherweight division. I mean, not featherweight, welterweight division, and some people outside of the division as well.
For those of you who are not aware, Ben Askren is the former Bellator welterweight champion, and the only reason he's a former is because he vacated the title to go on to ONE FC because there was no more competition in Bellator. But then when he went to ONE FC, won their welterweight title, but their welterweight title is the equivalent to our middleweight. So he was essentially fighting dudes even bigger in ONE FC than he did in Bellator, and he still won their title. And he was still undefeated till eventually he did not find any more competition and vacated the belt, which I think he did a year ago. They still don't have a welterweight champion in ONE FC. But, yeah, they now, I mean, Ben Askren is like sporting that for all it's worth. He's the former ONE FC and Bellator welterweight champion. Now he's going to go and see if he can do it at ONE FC. He's undefeated. He's 18-0, if I'm not mistaken. If it's not 19-0, it's 18-0. But he's undefeated as a welterweight, which is usually unheard of, especially in big organizations like Bellator or ONE FC. I mean, I think like Eddie Alvarez had a pretty good role over there. But regardless of that, right now there's a lot of talent going around everywhere. So him coming into the UFC right now, we're gonna see what happens.
He's 18-0, yeah. He hasn't fought in a year.
If you don't know about Ben Askren, to think about an American Khabib. And that Afro Khabib wears is his actual hair. Oh, and he has pretty great mic skills. Like, he can talk some shit. Earlier this week on Twitter, he essentially declared war on the entire welterweight division in the UFC, calling out people. Well, not calling out people,
but
talking
some of that here.
Yeah.
His first thing is, now you're all in big trouble.
Yep.
I went after Khabib, asking if anyone knows another Russian that needs to be humbled the old country way.
Once he straddled like essentially the top welterweight outside of the UFC, Andre I hate that I forget his name. And
he was riding his back. Yeah.
And he literally made him look like a fool on the ground. It was insane. He rode him like Brock Lesnar rode Keith Haring that time. Remember, like the first when Brock Lesnar got in the UFC? Yeah, he did the same fucking thing. And then after a bit, nobody was talking in the welterweight division. Nobody said anything.
What's crazy about this guy?
He started calling out everybody. He started. He got at Mike Perry tried to get at him, and he got clapped back at him.
Mike Perry said, I was waiting to beat Cowboy Cerrone first, but I threw my name out there on Insta, and I see him saying nobody is saying anything. So let it be known, Ben Askren going to need some aspirin if I can get my name on the contract with him.
Ben Askren going to need some aspirin. I know exactly what he was doing there.
I said, well, I appreciate you being the only one with courage, Mike, but let's be real. You suck. You know you aren't getting the shot.
It's fucked up. Goddamn.
Oh, my God. So many fighters said stuff about me in the past. I don't even get hit. Might tell UFC to set up a Bum of the Month club and fight every month.
There you go. Bum of the Month club.
All right, Jorge Masvidal. He said, beg me, you little slut. Just like a little slut whore, your day is coming. Jorge, you haven't won a fight since January 2007. If you had a shred of self-awareness, you would realize it would be an honor for you to share the cage with me.
Yeah.
Darren Till, threw Darren Till out there. All I do is chat, absolute horse shit, Askren. Your Twitter trash talk is embarrassingly bad.
It's worse than your performance against Tyron Woodley. Damn. Now when you get asked to sign a contract for real, make sure you do it, son. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they a little back and forth there. I like that picture. They put a picture of a goat.
Put up a picture of him as a goat.
Some shade there at Colby Covington.
Called out Colby Covington. Called out Tyron Woodley.
Alan Jobain.
Nate Diaz. Called out
Conor
Nick Diaz.
McGregor.
Called out George St. Pierre. Called out Khabib too. Ben Askren is coming. For those of you who don't know him, just go take a look at his Twitter and go take a look at the back and forth he's had with a bunch of MMA fighters this past week. This guy can talk that shit. This guy can get people in the seats. He's like Colby Covington, but not, a conservative douche. I don't think he's a liberal douche either, but he's not a conservative douche.
He's just a regular douche.
Yeah, he's just, but he embraces it so much. Look at that. He's got the Ric Flair robe on. We're watching a promo he did a while back. And he's so funny. He trains out of Duke Rufus's gym.
Yeah, he's buddies with
Rufus
T Wood.
Sports. He's he.
Which is weird. Which is gonna make that weird because they're in the same division now. So I don't know what's gonna happen. What happens if he? I mean, imagine Ben Askren comes in. Beats
what did he said something about T Woodley. Go back. He said something about T Woodley on Twitter. Actually, I forget what he said.
No, he was talking about Darren Till about his fight with.
Yeah, but I don't know how because they are teammates and they do train a lot. I'm pretty sure they have like some sort of friendship or partnership outside of the UFC. Him also with Anthony Pettis. He helped train Anthony Pettis for like Ben Askren, but for his fight against Rafael dos Anjos and Ben Henderson.
Well, he was saying something about. And he's not the first one. I think he was challenging GSP to a 165-pound title or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, no, he mentioned something about, they didn't do the 165-pound title because they didn't have a star. He was like, I'm the star that they need for the 165-pound division, which would be insane if they eventually do make a title for him. That would be nuts. I mean, it all depends on how well he shows out.
All right, so who's his first fight? Who do you think gets the shot?
Because of a trade of the caliber that they did, like against Demetrius Johnson, I feel like Dana White's relationship with him, I think they're gonna throw him directly into the fire, just like they did with Eddie Alvarez. Because I feel like Dana likes doing that with former champions of other divisions, especially people out of Bellator.
It depends, right? Because Eddie Alvarez fought Don Cerrone. That's obviously not an easy fight, but Don Cerrone wasn't like.
Don Cerrone was still the
top. I mean, I guess he was top.
No,
top
Donald Cerrone's still that motherfucker. And
so he's not going to get a title shot.
He's not going to get a title shot.
He's going to get somebody in the top 6, 7, something like that.
Here's one thing, and I noticed that they didn't name anybody. He didn't name Kamaru Usman.
Yeah, somebody brought that up.
He didn't talk about Kamaru.
Well, he didn't bring up RDA either. RDA or Usman.
He didn't bring up he didn't bring up the Sanyo Sider, but I mean, whoever wins that fight could be the person that goes against Ben Askren. I mean, I don't know that Kamaru Usman will like that because I feel like Kamaru Usman has done enough to get a title shot against Woodley.
Well, one of Usman's big strengths is wrestling.
There you go, and that would be a good.
I think Ben Askren's he's one of the best wrestlers in MMA.
Yeah, in the world. Actually, outside of it, he's an Olympian. He's a fucking Olympian. That's insane. When you get to a point where like you're an Olympic wrestler, that's like Khabib status. That's literally like you can lie down on somebody and you could literally like climb on them. Your legs are like arms, and they grip on just as hard as your legs do. I've seen this motherfucker. YouTube this. He's crushed 2 watermelons.
Who?
Ben Askren has crushed 2 watermelons with his hands. You've never seen that? YouTube that shit right now. YouTube Ben Askren crushing watermelons. He's crushed 2 watermelons at the same time, like it was nothing too. It's ridiculous. Like he's got that fucking gorilla strength, bro. He's either just as strong or just as close to being as strong as freaking Khabib. He's got that freakish bear wrestling strength. Like he could probably wrestle grizzlies.
Here you go.
If Khabib is wrestling black bears, he can wrestle a grizzly.
What the fuck?
Look at that shit, dude. That's 2 fucking watermelons at the same goddamn time. He just crushed with his goddamn forearms, bro. That's insane. That's that bear. Oh, Jesus. That's crazy. And I mean, just that in itself, like I said before, because wrestling, having wrestling as a base in MMA is so important. If your wrestling is at his caliber, he could get to that title shot. He could do it.
Well, yeah, but that's the problem, right? Because if Woodley,
it's not even to say like. And here's another thing too. He trains at Rufus Sports. You got Anthony Pettis there. You got really great strikers at Rufus Sports. You fight somebody. I think Edson Barboza also trains there. If you got great strikers,
Barboza's in Jersey.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. But if you got great strikers,
34
coming out of.
So right now would be
somewhat of his prime.
He's kind of his peak, but he's what do you call it? He should be like right now.
He needs to be right now.
Right now, he would be like in his prime or leaving his prime, but
he needs to stay active.
He never gets hit in his fights.
He's kind of
never gets hit.
He's like Dominic Cruz in that sense where he doesn't take any shots.
Take damage.
He doesn't take damage at all. So he's still fresh.
That does a lot for your longevity, you know.
I mean, his wrestling definitely being an Olympic wrestler and all that stuff definitely takes a toll on your body, especially for so many years. But the fact that he hasn't taken damage, in the striking exchange, or he doesn't take damage at all, is definitely a plus. It means that he's polished and he hasn't been hammered down at all. And right now, since he's at 34, they're gonna work him. They're gonna make him fight. Remember when Eddie Alvarez came in? They made him fight like every 3 or 4 months.
Oh, he's got, yeah, he had a killer's earlier.
They're going to make Ben Askren fight at least 3 or 4 times a year. Bet money. They're going to, like, make him work because of all the shit he's been talking. And I'm sure Dana probably wants to prove him wrong. And probably wants to be like, nah, man, these guys cannot wrestle you. You'll see. But if that's the case, that actually boasts well for Ben Askren because at this point, when you're at your prime, staying active is the best thing. Staying active and not going back to the gym and taking 6 to 9, like, month layoffs is the best thing for you. So, I mean, yeah, actually, let's take a look at the rankings.
Colby Covington, Darren Till.
We also got Gunnar Nelson's going to be fighting Alex Oliveira. That fight was announced. They're going to be fighting at UFC 232, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Or 231. He could fight whoever wins that if Gunnar Nelson wins that.
I think he's going to get someone higher up.
They're trying to save Robbie Lawler and Stephen Thompson for that first ESPN.
You know, maybe he gets the winner of RDA Usman, or maybe he gets the winner
Santiago Ponzinibbio and Neil Magny.
Yeah, Neil Magny.
They'll probably want to put him with a striker to see how that goes. Just to see, like, all right, let's put him with a striker.
Someone who's not a great wrestler, so they can just probably try and dominate him.
Yeah, maybe. Not even that, just because, you know, styles make fights. A striker against a wrestler always, but
if you're trying to invest in him, you might want to have him go against someone who's not great at what he's great at.
Yeah,
you know, someone who's not a great wrestler, and then have him beat him up. And then
this is true. I could definitely see the winner of Neil Magny and Santiago Ponzinibbio going against him.
Lightweight? Look, how did everyone go up by 1? This is so funny.
They took Nate Diaz off of the rankings.
Oh, that's why. No, Nate Diaz is right there. Number 9.
Really? I thought they took him out, actually.
It feels like they took somebody. I don't know who they would have taken out. But.
Paul Felder?
No, he was not ranked before. Now he's ranked.
I'm not sure what they did take out. I wonder who they took out. He's not there. Kevin Lee,
so
not sure.
Let's
Somebody.
See. Who else? Oh no, that was one.
Robbie Lawler and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson are fighting for that they're probably going to fight each other on the first ESPN card. Rafael Dos Anjos.
Oh, yeah, they've been calling for that, so I think that's already.
Darren Till, I think, is still. I mean, if him and Darren Till go at it on Twitter, I can see them giving him Darren Till, making him cut in line, because Darren Till has that reach advantage. Darren Till is big. Darren Till would be very difficult for him to take down.
For the title, so that could be.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and if they do that, and if Ben Askren totally makes Darren Till look like a fool, that means Ben Askren could talk shit and be like, "Yo, give me that fucking title shot, Nance. I just took out your number 2.
Yeah,
why the fuck not?"
But Tyron Woodley's there. I feel like they need to bide time a little bit because I don't think they want to fight each other. There's got to be a plan there. There's got to be a plan.
One of them are going to fight Colby Covington next. That's definite. One of them have to fight Colby Covington next. And
well, I think that's the idea. They gotta have Tyron Woodley fighting Colby, right?
Yeah, they gotta do that. He's still the interim champion.
Yeah, they never
supposedly they're not stripping anybody anymore. You know what now they're doing? Now they're doing this whole like, oh, once the next title fight starts, the title's vacant.
Well, that's what
they're doing for Gustafsson and Jones, and that's the same thing they did. That's technically what they did for Kevin Lee against Tony Ferguson. They never stripped Conor of the lightweight title, but they were like, as soon as Kevin Lee and Tony Ferguson starts, the lightweight title's vacant, and whoever wins that becomes like the title champion.
You know what I feel? You know, it was weird. I almost feel like DC is planning on fighting and defending the light heavyweight title really soon. Like,
you think so?
I feel like he's going to fight Derek Lewis.
He still has that broken hand. I don't think he should do that.
It's something weird. I don't know. I have a feeling he wants to fight like really soon.
Like three more times before like the end of the year.
I feel like he's going to try and put in as many fights as possible.
I mean, he could.
Like I think he wants to fight Anthony Smith. I think he's going to try and make a fight against him. Like,
I don't think he needs to do that.
Maybe in January or something.
Prove anything like that? I don't think so.
I think he's trying to keep the belt.
I mean,
so if he says, "Let's set up the fight right now, me versus Anthony Smith,"
he's working through a broken hand. I mean, he has a broken hand right now. He needs to get better with that hand.
Like if he makes the fight before Gustafsson Jones fight, then maybe that means that he's like, "Oh well, then they can't strip me because I already have a fight lined up," kind of thing. Maybe. I think he just doesn't want to get stripped.
I mean, there's technically not. I feel like Dana White's trying to point out a fact that there's a difference between being stripped and the title being vacant. Because like I said, they never stripped Conor. They still haven't stripped Kobe. Kobe's still running around like he's the interim champion, and he's all right with it because he's like, fuck it. He's making money and he's making noise on Twitter and he's making people want to see the welterweight division. Not to say Tyron Woodley doesn't, because right now Tyron Woodley's in the talks of like possibly greatest welterweight of all time. But yeah, I mean, right now it's just it all depends on when they're gonna make whatchamacallit, the fight between Brock and Daniel Cormier happen. As if they make it happen in March, and if for whatever reason, like you said, DC just happens to work himself really like down into the ground, he could have this fight with Derek Lewis, and then another fight, and then maybe even that Brock Lesnar fight. We could have another fight right before he goes against Brock Lesnar.
I feel like the Brock Lesnar fight's not gonna happen.
I get that feeling too, weird, just because it's like so far away, and it's like they plan it ahead. I feel like whenever they plan a fight really far, like really too far, like ahead.
That's really far, right?
It kind of jinxes it. Yeah, I mean, look.
But he had to do 6 months for the fucking.
Yeah, I know. I mean, fucker. But yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with that. But for now, you know, we got Ben Askren coming in. We segued from Ben Askren over to light heavyweight division, as we do plenty of times, you know. But yeah, we got Ben Askren coming in. They got that big trade. Demetrius Johnson's not going to fight in the flyweight division in one.
Yeah, I think they're going to close it down.
He's going to collect belts. I don't think so.
I think everybody's going to go up to 135. That's why they did Cejudo, TJ.
I don't think they're going to. I mean, we'll see. But I don't think they should. But we'll see.
Well, DJ was the only fighter that people were really cared about in that division. So, but even then, his fights were hard
that's
to
one thing I will give you. But I mean, the flyweight division, it's still exciting. The only reason that I think they might stop it is because of the whole weight cutting thing. Weight cutting is a big thing, and the 125-pound division is really, really down there. People who like cut down from like 150, who should be bantamweights, cut down to 125, and it gets really, really dangerous, and it fucks up their performances. That's a big reason too. Is
definitely
like you got to
add some restrictions.
You got a lot of bantamweights and a lot of featherweights that drop down to fight Demetrius Johnson, and when they do that, obviously they're not fighting to their best of their abilities because they're not, they're not getting themselves back to 100% 24 hours later. But Demetrius Johnson literally walked around at like 140, 145, and like cutting down to 125 was easy for him. And just the fact that he was literally the 125-pound GSP with his fighting, with his all-around MMA prowess is what made him so great. So he was able to take these dudes down that were bigger than him at times, but they were like still malnourished and they were still like getting their energy back from cutting down all that weight. Meanwhile, you got the world champion there, the greatest of all time, who's closer to that weight, and that is his actual weight class. Not everybody was as small as him, though. I mean, even fucking Cejudo was fucking bigger than Demetrius Johnson. He's huge.
Yeah.
He could probably fight at like featherweight if he wanted to comfortably and still make some fucking noise. But
I think he's gonna go up and stay there. I think they're gonna close down the division.
Yeah, it might.
I think that they honestly should add some kind of restrictions, something to the weight cutting process to like maybe
they did.
Check them like. Maybe like a week ahead of time or 2 weeks ahead of time, you have to be like a certain weight.
They want to do that, and I think they have certain
Make sure you're not cutting down the bulk of your weight. Like in
California has that. San Diego, Los Angeles, I think they take a look at their like fat percentage in their body like a week beforehand, and if it's not at a certain amount, they say you're not eligible to fight. They do that now. I think they're waiting to have that everywhere. And then they'll see where the flyweight division goes. Those other divisions.
165, make 175, 195.
I mean, right now, who are they? I mean, who's left? Because they still have some good fights in the flyweight division. They have like Ryan Benoit, they have Sergio Pettis. I know Sergio Pettis can go up to bantamweight.
Yeah, but the thing is that you like, if you go outside of like the top 5, like nobody even knows any of these guys.
I mean, you got Zach Cummings.
There are people there, but it's like nobody follows them.
It's an MMA purist, I guess, kind of like division, which sucks. And like, and it's crazy because, like we said, you watch one of the greatest of all time in Demetrius Johnson fighting all these dudes and just making them look like children. But like you said, you get to a point where you're literally making everybody look like children. So
yeah, and you don't have anyone.
And he didn't want to go up in weight. He did say that he had no intentions of going up to 135.
There are no other potential stars in that division, though. Too.
Yeah,
like, there's nobody that's like coming out starching people. That's doing this.
That's true.
And even when you did have someone like Benavidez who was going out there knocking people out, then he would meet DJ, and DJ would
knock
school
him out in the second round and make him fall asleep.
So it was, it was very weird.
Poor Olivia Munn. Olivia, what's her name? What's his wife's name? Olivia Benavidez, I guess, right?
What's her name? Olivia?
Is her name Olivia? Olivia?
Olivia. Megan Olivia?
Megan Olivia, there you go. Megan Olivia.
Olivia Munn. I thought I do love Olivia Munn.
Yeah, who doesn't? But yeah, that happened. So yeah, big news in MMA history. Big trade going on. That was like the talk of the talk of the week for a little bit. Yeah. That and what else? Oh, there's a lot of stuff going on actually this week for UFC 230. This particular store we go and buy our MMA apparel at, Super Rare, is gonna have signings with a couple of people.
Stipe, Pettis, and TJ.
TJ Dillashaw, Anthony Pettis, and Stipe are going to be there. Yeah,
I think the first, second, and third, something like that.
Stipe is going to be there, I think, on Thursday. I have it marked down here.
And then on the second, which is the Friday, they also have the
for any of you who are not doing anything, well, actually, or after work or something, Stipe will be at Super Rare Fight Shop on November 1st, Thursday, from 6:30 to 8 p.m. I guess doing like a meet and greet. Yeah. Anthony Pettis will be there the Friday, November 2nd, from 7 to 8:30 p.m. And TJ Dillashaw will be there November 3rd, the next day, Saturday, 12 to 1:30 p.m. It's just a regular meet and greet. If you guys have never been to Super Rare, go check it out. It's on 131 Orchard Street in the Lower East Side, New York. Yeah, they got some really good shit there. They have like fight apparel. They have
we got a couple
pads, head pads, gloves. They have a bunch of stuff there. I love shopping there. It's a great place. Roots of Fighting has their stuff there. Bangarang has some stuff there. I love it. Whenever you see us wearing a fight shirt, we usually get it from Super Rare. So yeah, if you're not doing anything this Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, go check out some UFC stars.
Yeah, and the UFC has UFC 232 press conference Friday in MSG.
Yes, they do.
So that'll be cool.
We got Chris Cyborg, the women's featherweight champion, and Amanda Nunes, the bantamweight women's champion, having a super fight, the first women's super fight in UFC, coming up UFC 232. That should be really awesome. They've been wanting to fight each other for like a solid year now, but like injuries and just random crap has kind of like set it aside. But now Amanda Nunes, who's always been kind of big for bantamweight, is going to go up to featherweight to see if she could take on the pound for pound best female fighter probably in the history of MMA.
Well, Cyborg is going to knock her out.
I mean,
that
could happen. I mean, she could do that, but I mean,
I don't know what's going to happen.
Amanda Nunes' fighting style is a little bit more different than like Cyborg. Cyborg definitely like goes in wailing, has those like, haymakers and stuff like that when she goes in there. But Amanda Nunes likes to throw the straight jabs. We'll see what happens with that. She's kind of like we'll see how that striking exchange goes. But I mean, this is probably going to be Chris Cyborg's last fight before she, I think, has to. She wants to go boxing. She wants to do boxing for a bit and see how she does in boxing. So I think she's going to take a step back from MMA in 2019. So this might be one of her.
I mean, for what I hear, that's not like the female boxers are not getting paid all that much. It's not like a. Like her going up to fight.
I think Cyborg's more about legacy. She wants to fight people who are like at her caliber. I mean, I know she wants to do the money fights, but I mean, if she's like MMA champion against boxing champion, I'm sure like something like that could happen.
But it's also there's not a lot of people for her to fight.
Yeah, I guess not. It is that, but I mean, it's something she always wanted to do. It's something she wants to do before she retires and gets out of the game. So I don't know. Maybe she'll go to boxing for a year or two, maybe 3 years. Maybe she'll come back to MMA, see what happens. But yeah, we have that, and then we also have the rematch. It's happening. Well, hoping it happens. The rematch of the greatest light heavyweight fight of all time, Alexander Gustafsson versus The Return.
Oh, John Jones.
John Bones Jones.
He,
a.k.a. the greatest
he tweeted about
athletes in MMA history, in UFC history perhaps, a.k.a. the greatest screw-up in UFC history perhaps. A lot of maybes, a lot of buts with this particular individual, but one thing we cannot deny, when John Jones is in that octagon, we want to see what happens. And when John Jones is in that octagon against somebody like Alexander Gustafsson, the whole world should be watching because that's going to be an amazing fucking fight.
Somebody tweeted at John Jones asking him, what do you think of Anthony Smith's performance? He replied, it was okay.
Yeah. But yeah, that's going to be
that's
a great,
that's his competition right now, looks like, as far as
light heavyweights
people
shooting light heavyweights and Anthony
obviously
Smith.
Gustafsson, but I'm saying like Anthony Smith's up there just because no one else is beating him in the top,
It's always interesting to see what happens when John Jones fights somebody who's just as tall and long as he is, because he fights a lot of people who are shorter. So he always has that reach advantage. I mean, he had that reach advantage with Gustafsson as well. I think it was just like maybe 2 or 3 inches. But regardless of that, him fighting somebody who has more of like, let's say, a 78, 79-inch reach advantage, a 79 or 78 reach, usually boasts like some problems for him just because he's not used to fighting somebody as long-limbed as he is. I mean, if Anthony Smith uses that to his advantage, he could probably make some noise. But I mean, you got to remember it's John Jones, and you got to see what happens when he goes against Gustafsson.
I'd like to see Anthony Smith get one more fight.
Yeah, I could see Anthony Smith getting one more fight. I saw what he did with Volcom. I saw what he played the smart MMA game with Volcom. When you go against people that are at the caliber of, like, let's say, an Alexander Gustafsson and John Jones or Daniel Cormier, it's entirely different, and it's all about being on a different level and being a different breed. If he evolves somehow and if he gets stronger or if just something like gets better, he needs to keep getting better. This can't be his prime. This can't be his peak right now. Anthony Smith needs to get just a little bit better.
This fight could make sense here. Jan Blachowicz.
Oh yeah,
ranked number 3.
He's been around for a while too, actually.
Maybe Dominic Reyes.
I think
Dominic Reyes looked really good against.
Corey
Anderson. Not Corey Anderson. OSP.
OSP. Yeah. Oh my God, I completely forgot about Dominic Reyes. He was good. Yeah. Like, this is the first time that he actually went to a decision.
He went up against Owen St. Preux. 6.
Yeah, man.
I don't know what they're gonna put Anthony Smith at. He in the rankings, he's probably got to be top 5. He's got cracked the top 5. I think that way.
Anthony Smith will probably be number 3 or number 2.
So I think it makes sense for him to fight maybe like the Jan Blachowicz or Dominic Reyes, who are both on winning streaks.
Definitely. Yeah.
Because I think Gustafsson. Jones winner has to be fighting Daniel Cormier. It's got to be.
Right. But yeah,
it's just so funny. You look over here like champion.
Is that
Daniel
before
Cormier, champion Daniel Cormier? Look at the top.
Is that gonna be Is the press conference gonna be free to the public? And is that gonna be before the weigh-ins or after the weigh-ins? I think it's gonna be.
It's before, not part of the thing. What are you talking about? It's on Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Oh yeah, but it's a different event.
Yeah. But I mean, they usually do that though. Remember, they usually have like the press conference and then they have the weigh-ins, or they have the weigh-ins and then a press conference for like the next event. So I forget what order it's gonna be in. I think they're gonna have the press conference first, and then they're gonna have the weigh-ins like right after that. But
it just says the second.
He's still gonna bring that title.
Scheduled to start at 5 p.m.
Okay, yeah.
And free and open to the public.
Yeah. Okay. So right, and then that means because the weigh-ins here are usually at 4. No, at 7. The weigh-ins in New York City usually at 7, so that they show them on the West Coast at like 4 for that 4.
So this is the second. This is Friday.
So yeah, I think the press conference is gonna be first, and then they're gonna have the ceremonial weigh-ins after that. And I guess they're both gonna be open to the public, right? You want to go check that? Ah, shit! Actually, I'm working Friday.
Oh.
But I'm only doing a pickup day though, so I think I'll be, like I said, I might be free like by 3 or 2 o'clock. So I think I'll still be able to catch that, hopefully. But yeah. We could definitely see that. So yeah, if you guys are, if anybody in the New York City area wants to catch something from their favorite MMA fighters, or just check anything out, we have a couple of events coming up this week.
So other thing in the news.
What else was in the news this week?
What do you call it? Frankie Edgar's out. Frankie
Edgar is out of the injured. UFC 25th anniversary show in Denver, Colorado. That's going on next week, December 10th. I guess like an injury, was it, or something like that? I was really busy with work this week, so I didn't take a look at that. I think
so. Where the hell is the thing?
Frankie Edgar. Yeah. Boom. Frankie Edgar out of main event.
I forget why exactly. Yeah, he's injured. Didn't say what he was, but yeah, he's injured.
But yeah,
Frankie Edgar, he doesn't drop out a lot, so that's pretty shitty.
Yeah, I know. It's weird. It's unfortunately this isn't his body reacting to
He's an old man though, you know.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm afraid of. Just like, he's been in wars. He's been in a lot of wars, so I just like keep thinking about that, and I'm just like.
But I'm excited to see Yair back.
I'm excited. Yair, you mean?
Yeah.
You said Yair. You said Edgar.
What? No, I'm saying I'm excited to see him back.
No, yeah.
He's supposed to fight Zabit. That was unfortunate that I didn't get to see that, but.
He'll fight.
Also, his awesome
Zombie, which is really crazy. A very different fight. I don't know why, but I would never think to see them both fight. Should be really good though. Yair Rodriguez has that crazy Taekwondo style. Korean Zombie doesn't die. And he just goes forward and just kind of like.
That's why he's a zombie.
Beats the shit out of you. I always forget until I see him fight, because he always gets quick finishes, but Korean Zombie is so technical with his striking, so technical with his submissions. He's really great at transitions. You could always see him thinking out there, and it's always real dangerous because he's, like I said, he's a guy who can take hits, and he's a guy who just keeps putting the pressure on somebody. So it'll be really interesting to see how that fight goes on. But yeah, that's a quick Yair Rodriguez, a quick 2-week replacement for Frank Yeager. We'll see how that goes down. But yeah, that's going on in about 2 weeks. Something else.
Got Don Cerrone, Mike Perry.
Yeah.
And in the flyweight division, Benavidez, Ray Borg.
Word.
Shit! This is kind of crazy.
What's that?
And I forgot about this. Raquel Pennington versus Jermaine Durandamy. Jermaine Durandamy comes back.
Wow. At the 25th anniversary show.
She's back.
She might get booed.
I'm gonna boo her.
She might get booed out of
the
building. I'm gonna
boo her from home.
I'm not even joking. I feel like she might get booed out of the building. Actually, could you go back to something real quick to
crazy.
MMA to the website? Go back. There was something again. Actually, an event that took place on Friday on what do you call it? 1FC. Their middleweight champions.
Oh yeah, they had
essentially their
an event, right?
Yeah, right there. But,
one champ.
Yeah. Angla and Seng.
Did they have two champs?
He's no.
What happened to the guy at? He was like I think 45 and 55 or 35 and 45.
Bibio Fernandez.
No.
Oh no, you're right.
That he fought that what's her name's brother, their atom weight or flyweight.
He just lost I think his lightweight title or his featherweight title. I think maybe if I'm not mistaken, he could still be the champ.
I forget his name right now.
Martin Wang.
Wen. Yeah,
Martin Wen. Wen. He's like Ben Wen. Is he still champion?
Because they're lightweight. He's still.
Yeah. So yeah, he's but yeah, the other champ that we're talking about, Angla and Singh, their middleweight champion, which is the equivalent to our light heavyweight.
Two champs at the same time.
And actually, he's a cruiserweight champ. So over there, they have a 225-pound division, which I think wouldn't be a bad idea to have in the UFC.
Oh shit, their heavyweight goes up to 285.
Yeah, their heavyweight is from like two.
It's funny, like Brandon Harris over there.
Yeah, they're
got their heavyweight.
Their heavyweight I think is like from 226 up to 285, and their cruiserweight is from 206 to 225. But yeah, he's champion for both of them, and he got a fucking knockout win the other night from this undefeated prospect out of Russia. Got a knockout win right here. Boom, he got that uppercut, startles him, and they did it in
that uppercut. Yeah, look at us. And the hammer fist.
And they did it in Burmese, which is his home country. He's like the Burmese Python, I believe, is his nickname.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, that fucking crowd was going nuts. He's like their hero over there, bro. He's their champ of 1FC. He's doing his thing. Big fucking guy. He's got crazy knockout power, as their 225 and 205 champion. Crazy fucking knockout power.
You got some shitty video.
Yeah, you got the lagging. I mean, we are streaming video right now.
Yeah, but we streamed other shit before. It wasn't like this.
I don't know. It's buffering like
on Twitter.
Boom.
Get your shit together.
This is it right here. He gets the uppercut and he just makes it go down tap. Right now, the crowds are going freaking nuts. But yeah, 1FC has some really good fights up. They always have really good fights going and stuff like that. So if you ever want to check out 1FC, I would definitely suggest doing it. Yeah, look, goes for the shot, stuffs it.
Oh,
knee. Quick elbow. Shot to the ribs. Shot. Has him breathing hard, exhales hard. Shot to the side of to the side of his temple. And then TKO finish. Yeah, I think he was about to tap out. But yeah, that's some fucking power. Look at that crowd go nuts. It's always awesome to see like a champ or just like a fighter in general win in their hometown because they always go crazy. I feel like a crowd. Fights. Yeah, I feel like a crowd definitely puts in like so much energy into the fights and stuff like that. Like a dead crowd could definitely make a fight seem crappy. But yeah, shout outs to Angla Inseng for once again defending his middleweight title in 1FC. And yeah, like I said, 1FC is doing big things, man. They did trades with UFC this week. Now we're gonna have a whatchamacallit. We're gonna see what happens when Demetrius Johnson goes over there. And also next week, is it next week? I believe it's next week or this week. Their strawweight champion, who you mentioned earlier, Angela Lee, Their undefeated strawweight champion.
She going up in weight or something?
She's I think she's their. Oh, well, she's the atomweight champion.
Yeah,
and over
she's
there,
fighting the strawweight.
Yeah. But over there, their atomweight is our strawweight champion. So right now, she's their 115-pound champion. She's gonna go for their 125-pound champion. Yeah, exactly. She's gonna go for the 125-pound title. And she's. I mean, we talked about Angela Lee before. She's a young prospect. I believe she's
Well, don't say prospect because it makes it sound like
prospect. No. She's a young champion, should I say? My apologies. No, young champion. She's undefeated. She's fucking kicking ass in ONE FC. She's she's gonna try to be their third champ and the first champ in women's MMA history. Technically, if she wins next week, she will be the first. Well, at least in ONE FC, I believe. And should be the interesting performance. It's always interesting to see somebody go up in weight. Because you always see how they do, how they pose more with like just a heavier fighter. Everybody always thinks it's easy to go up in weight. It's not easy to go up in weight. Not easy at all. What Daniel Cormier did when he went against Stipe Miocic and knocked out Stipe Miocic in that round was fucking astronomical, and it was crazy because you never see a light heavyweight and heavyweight champ, especially in a promotion like UFC. So. Good luck to Angela Lee on her quest to be the ONE FC's first women champ.
Damn! So imagine that she wins, then they got 3 champs.
That's nuts. That's crazy. But then again, it just means like they want more competition. If that's the case, we'll see more trades go on, more MMA trades. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
They could even bring Angela Lee over here and then like trade in like maybe a Joanna Jędrzejczyk over to ONE FC. I don't know. Just talking, just throwing ideas out there. Because maybe this could be the start of new things going on, which I wouldn't mind.
I could see maybe like Cyborg going over there.
Absolutely, and it's always great to see because, like, I mean, I feel like I've seen these, contracts run out and then people go, let's say, to ONE, or they go to Bellator, or they go to this, that, and the third, and then they come back and it's always like whatever. Like once you fight like in the UFC, I don't know, it's just like a little different. The UFC never really did trades like that. UFC never really did interpromotional stuff since Chuck Liddell got his ass kicked at that Pride tournament. But now maybe this could be the start of a new thing. We'll see how this goes.
Oh, Chuck fights Tito soon.
That's right.
That's
Chuck fighting Tito Ortiz pretty soon for under Golden Boy Promotions.
November 24th. So it's coming up in
like 3 weeks. We'll see how that goes down. A couple of good random fights coming up. It's an exciting time right now in MMA.
It's an exciting time right now. Exciting time right now in MMA because he's put out some videos and pictures of him working out.
It's not all about UFC. I mean, Tito. I mean, it's Chuck Liddell. It's been a while. He looks like in shape, but you can tell he's older.
Yeah, I don't think I could stomach watching this. Just it's probably the most cringe thing I've ever seen. But I'm just not gonna.
Yeah. I mean, it's Tito Ortiz talking.
You ever see fucking Tito? He's so bad, but it's so funny. You ever like? It's just awful. Listening to him talk. Even when he was like remember he was, I think for Bellator, he was doing like some commentating and like interviews after the fights.
Yeah, he's a bully, bro. He's just a dumb bully. So that's so he's a alpha male, always talking that bullshit. Not that clever, but people give him mic time, so why the hell not take it?
Is there anything else on this?
I mean, he talked trash, sure, but it's not like great trash talking. It's not like Ben Askren, Conor McGregor level trash talking.
Is it only one fight?
No. There's another card under there. They have it somewhere, the undercard.
Oh yeah, there's another thing. I mean, we weren't here. This happened like 2 weeks ago, but
right.
Canelo signed with DAZN for I think it's a minimum of like $350 million.
Damn.
For 10 fights or something.
Damn. That's pretty cool.
That's a minimum.
That's pretty cool. I guess DAZN.
DAZN,
right. DAZN, right. We thought it was DAZN.
Stupidest fucking name ever.
DAZN.
Hey, I mean they're making big moves right now.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. They have
They also signed with it was either Wild or Joshua. I don't know.
Deontay. I think it was with Deontay. Oh no, it was with Joshua. Anthony Joshua's title defense. Anthony's last title defense was like the first thing DAZN broadcasted, and when they went live in the U.S. Yeah. So, shouts to DAZN for doing your thing, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of things moving to services. You got ESPN.
So,
you got DAZN going on.
Real quick, let's just take a look at UFC 230 coming up real quick before we say goodbye. Let's see what we got going on in the early prelims. Brian Kelleher against Montel Jackson. Shane Burgos against Kurt Holobaugh. And Matt Frevola versus Lando Venata. Yay, I love Lando Venata. It's always great to see Lando Venata. I do like
Lando Venata, but he needs to stop getting punched in the face.
I mean, that's his fighting style.
Kelleher
and
lost recently to Lamas? Am I making that up?
Ryan Kelleher lost recently to somebody in the bantamweight division. Somebody in the bantamweight division.
I thought he was 145er.
Maybe he lost to someone else. And I can't think about who it is. Oh, my
stomach's
so bubbly right now.
Who the fuck did he lost to? Somebody.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he lost to somebody.
You got the bubble guts?
Yeah, maybe a little bubble guts. I shouldn't have had too much of that coffee. Woo, it's alright.
That pumpkin's fast.
I can get through this.
That's what you get for
I can get through it.
Drinking that basic bitch elixir.
Come on.
Lineker. Oh,
he got KO'd by John Lineker. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, yeah, that was like May.
I was thinking of, not Kelleher. Who was I thinking of? This other bald guy.
Strickland?
No. And I'll tell you in 2 seconds. His name is Josh Emmett. That's what
Josh Emmett. Oh, that guy. That big dude. That guy, yeah, he got knocked the fuck out by John Lineker also, no?
What?
Yeah, he got knocked out by John Lineker as well. No. He lost out to somebody who knocked him out.
Pretty sure he fought Lamas.
You might be right.
I don't know, Jeremy Stevens. Oh, yeah, he beat Lamas and then lost to Jeremy Stevens.
There you go. That's what happens. We're really behind. But anyway, back to that. We got that going on in the early...
I'm excited to see Aldo
the early prelims. Now in the regular prelims, we have... Oh, this is interesting.
I have terrible memory, sorry.
Lyman Gold versus Ben Sanders. Ben Sanders is back after that big win he had not too long ago. We'll see Ben Sanders in action.
What are you looking at? Prelims?
Yeah, regular prelims. Julio Arce against Shaman Moraes. Sajara Eubanks with everything to prove and a lot.
She needs to win this fight.
So not like everything to prove and not a lot to lose, but a lot to prove.
She's not very happy with the UFC
against Roxanne Modafferi. Last we heard, she had a phone conversation with Dana White, bitching him out about taking her. She was given the headlining spot. She was essentially, I think she like signed a contract or something like that, and like they told her on the phone, you're going to be headlining MSG against Valentina Shevchenko. Then they took it away.
So they moved it to the next
moved over. Yeah, so Joanna can go for the flyweight title, which makes more sense.
I mean, nobody wants to watch you, Cesar Eubanks. I'm sorry. Nobody wants to watch you. I don't even know who you are. All I know is you were on The Ultimate Fighter.
Sorry, we don't. Yeah, the last thing
3-2.
The last thing she got was hurt on The Ultimate Fighter, and she couldn't fight the finale. This is technically the finale that should have happened for The Ultimate Fighter. Flyweight title was Roxanne Modafferi with Sajara Eubanks, because I mean Nico Montano hasn't been around. But yeah, like I said, she has everything to prove right now. We'll see how that goes. Sajara Eubanks, you better back up what you said, because if not, Dana might just let you go.
Yeah, Jason Knight against Jordan Rinaldi. Don't know so much about Jordan Rinaldi. Jason Knight's pretty good fighter.
We'll see that. That's going to be the feature fight for the prelims, and let's go into the main card.
Oh, Derek Brunson, Israel Adesanya. I'm excited for that one.
Middleweights.
The last style bender.
Start of the middleweight Grand Prix going on.
He destroyed Brad Tavares.
Yeah, man. His the last style bender. We'll see how he does. He's big in the middleweight division right now.
So
he's
dynamic.
Calling out Derek Brunson.
Out there throwing fucking everything.
If he knocks out Derek Brunson, or if he gets fucking Derek Brunson in trouble into this shit, he's definitely has like, hey, let me get that next title shot.
I don't like this fight for Derek Brunson.
I don't like a lot of fights with Derek Brunson. Derek Brunson
he's very much like, I want to knock you out, so I'm gonna go swing. Yeah, he just goes for these wild swinging.
Yeah,
punches.
I mean, if
I feel like Adesanya's gonna read that and just
for somebody with his striking experience, he could definitely read that and catch him with the countering. I mean, we'll see what happens. Maybe Derek Brunson will switch up his game, but they've been talking a lot of shit on Twitter, so we'll see how that goes.
Carl Robertson,
Robertson versus Jack Marshman. Not too sure.
David Branch, Jared Cannonier. That's gonna be interesting. David Branch.
Jared Cannonier. He sounds.
Yeah, he's been around. He's been around, right?
He's a big guy.
He had some good performances.
Yeah, right.
David Branch.
David Branch was the former light heavyweight and the former champ for World Series of Fighting in the middleweight and light heavyweight division.
Yeah, he's been around the UFC for a while. Not a very warm welcome from.
Well, he's been around MMA for a while, should I say? He's been around MMA for a while.
He was actually in the UFC a long time ago.
Yeah, he was but he got more experience outside of it.
Daniel Cannonier's coming off of 2 losses. And the
last person he lost to, was Dominic Reyes.
Dominic Reyes and John Blachowicz are both, both solid. But he obviously. Branch is fighting him because what's it called? Jacare got moved up
to fight Chris Weidman. Yeah, after Rockhold is injured now. We'll get to that in a moment. But
he's Branch coming off of a KO against Thiago Santos.
That's not bad. So he's coming off of a KO win against Thiago Santos. But we'll see how that goes for David Branch. Maybe Jared Cannonier.
Oh, how old is David? David Branch is kind of old, man. Right?
He's like 30, 36, 37. Yeah, there you go. I mean, like I said, he's a veteran in the MMA game. But right now,
let's see what he can do with that skill set. Because if he would have fought Jacare, that would have been a big and won that. It would have been big.
That would have been big.
So he beats Jared Cannonier. That's not really gonna say much for him.
We'll see what happens. Depending on how he beats him.
Chris Weidman's
going against Jacare, yeah. Supposed to be Weidman versus Rockhold 2.
Yeah, I would have rather seen that just because that's like a rematch.
I think that was like one of the best like middleweight title fights ever because both of those men were sick. I think Chris Weidman had the flu and like Luke Rockhold had a staph infection and they were still fucking each other up throughout the whole fight until Luke Rockhold got top position.
Spinning shit.
And was throwing like elbows down on Chris Weidman and fucked up his face.
Unless you're like John Jones, don't throw spinning shit, please.
But I mean, was really looking forward to that rematch. But hey, Jacare came in. Jacare Souza is always exciting to see. We're gonna go see him against Chris Weidman, 2 top contenders, 2 UFC, 2 MMA favorites. This should still boast well for a co-main event position. We'll see how Chris Weidman shows out in his hometown in New York City, and we'll see what Jacare does.
Yeah, this is his hometown, so he's got.
I like Weidman's chances. I do like Weidman's chances. Jacare could always come with a win from behind because of his submission prowess and ground game. It's going to be an interesting fight on the ground.
He's got knockout too. He's got knockout power.
It's going to be very interesting if they get this to the ground.
I didn't really like Weidman against Gastelum. I mean, he won. Yeah, but I feel like it was by a fucking hair. Like
Weidman had some injuries back then, though. Weidman was injured, I think, back then, and like now I think he's gotten rid of them. So I mean, we'll see what happens.
I mean, he was coming off an injury. He hadn't fought in a bit.
We've spoken about this. We've said that like it seems like Chris Weidman has reached his peak, and his prime was like when he was cleaning up the middleweight division for all the old people,
garbage.
Yeah, and then after he lost the title to Luke Rockhold, it's been really up and down. Like I said, we'll see what happens. I mean, it could still be a pretty good homecoming for him. Maybe he comes around and gets a win from behind. It's going to be a good matchup. We'll see how it goes.
And I got DC and the Black Beast.
The main event. I think it's a great main event. It's definitely a short notice main event. I know that much, but I mean, everybody knows Derek Lewis now. I love Derek Lewis.
His balls are going to be really hot.
And Derek Lewis is one of those kinds of fighters that he's got that one-punch knockout power. If he lands a punch on DC, he could knock him out. But, I mean, DC is not the kind of fighter, like he says.
DC is going to take him down.
There is levels to this game. DC is up here. A lot of people are down here. DC is the kind of fighter that can totally dodge that shit and totally tire him out and totally make him look like a kid, honestly, because he's done it before.
Yeah.
Daniel Cormier undefeated at heavyweight and still possibly could get NU. Derek Lewis could shock the world. I mean, it's happened at MSG before. Last time they were at MSG, GSP won the middleweight title from Bisping. And the time before that, Conor became the champ. History, it gets made at MSG.
It's the greatest stadium in the world.
Yeah, man. And I do believe history could get made again. We'll see what happens. Maybe Derek Lewis gets the knockout, or maybe DC once again defends his belt, remains the champ. So yeah, for those of you want to see UFC 230, catch it this Saturday, November 3rd. Prelims start, I believe, at 6 o'clock. Prelims are starting a little bit earlier on the UFC Fight Pass. Because I saw
prelims are at 6:30.
Oh, 6:30, okay. I saw 5 fights.
Prelims at 8, and then main card at 10.
Main card at 8 on Fox Sports 1, and then your prelims on
early
Fox
prelims,
Sports 1.
Fight Pass. Yeah, you got FS1 for the prelims, and then pay-per-view for main card, obviously.
At 10 o'clock. So, and if you guys want to catch, like I said, if anybody is in the NYC area, you can catch some of your favorite UFC fighters. Stipe on Thursday, Anthony Pettis on Friday, TJ Dillashaw on Saturday at Super Rare. Check out UFC's Instagram and UFC's website for more information on that and what time they're going to be there. We will be there. I mean, not that anybody wants to meet us, but we will be there. And yeah, Friday, the press conference for UFC 232. Jones versus Gustafsson for the light heavyweight title, and Cyborg versus Nunes for the featherweight title. First ever women's super fight. And that'll be it for us. It's going to be a very exciting fight, a week of fights for us. We'll keep you guys posted on our social media page and what's going on. If you haven't been following us on social media and you've, just like, I don't want to really follow their news because I don't like their format and stuff like that. We totally changed it up now. We're just posting funny pics.
Yeah, we're having fun with it.
We're having fun with it. Having a lot of fun with it.
If you want a good laugh or see some funny old MMA shit, because there's a lot of weird MMA shit out there.
Even if you're an MMA hobbyist, you can check out our page and see all the funny pics we have. Every Thursday, we have a Throwback Thursdays. Whenever there's news, we always post up funny photos, and check us out. We'll have our shit going on live on our stories at the end of the week for UFC 230, and I guess we'll be wrapping it up because I gotta take a shit.
And on that note, we're signing off.
Happy Halloween to everybody, and we'll be talking about UFC 230 next week. Enjoy your week.